All right, we're gonna do some hand wrapping today. This is gonna be a traditional tape and gauze style hand wrap for competition. Okay, so this is gonna be geared towards our instructors mostly, but if you'd like to learn how to wrap hands, please reach out to me. The help is always needed. First thing, good tape that you can rip. Roll of gauze. I prefer a certain kind of gauze. If you want to have, I can let you know the exact brands I use and stuff like that. And then I use a gauze pad as well. Can I make those? And the last thing is you need a good pair of scissors. Don't get me started on the scissors. All right, so first thing, it's always nice to massage the hand just a little bit because you're going to be wrapping the tape and gauze on there fairly tight, and it helps to loosen it up. Okay, so we start with the roll of gauze first. Okay, so we're going to be rolling with the gauze, roll upside down like this so it's easy to roll, and we roll away from the thumb. Have you spread your fingers out? So we start on the wrist, and we just come over the top, underneath. I usually go one time, right? And then I put my gauze pad on. And this pad is a little bit big for her hands, but that's okay. So I come around and make sure there's nice, I'm overlapping enough so that there's coverage over the knuckles. Then I'm gonna fold this over, so you can see that. All right. A couple times over top. Then I'm going to come back down to the wrist. And then I'm going to come up on this thumb side, and I'm going to start wrapping the top. And I'm just coming around and making sure this is all padded, all this padding is held down correctly. So back and forth across the top. Again, I'm using that X type pattern over top here. And I'm gonna come over the knuckles. And this is kind of this is the stage where it takes you a little bit of time to get used to this. Getting the proper coverage with the gauze and getting it all down. Again, this gauze pad is a little bit big for her hands, but it works just fine. Generally with smaller hands or kids' hands, I'll cut the gauze pad in half a lot of times to make it a little simpler. Cover the thumb. So again, I'm coming, I don't know if you can see the bottom of the hand here. I'm coming away from the thumb so that I'm keeping that palm open, all right? So I'm gonna come across the top again. There we go. All right, so again, this is the part where it's it takes a little bit of time to get the system down, but it works pretty well. And again, with a smaller hand, you're gonna end up with a decent amount of the roll left because this is enough coverage for now. Definitely with someone with bigger hands, you'll use the whole roll easily. All right, so now we're gonna start with the tape. And again, I can't stress a good roll of tape enough. So we're gonna start, again, away from the thumb, and we're just covering the wrist this time. Rip it off. Now, at this point, I'm gonna tear some strips. Okay? And I'm just wrapping one hand right now, so normally I would do these two. and then I'd have one more strip and then have the extra strip for the next hand. But we'll just have an extra strip this time. Okay, so flip the hand over. Again, the palm should be open. I'm going to take this and I'm from the top and stick the sticky side underneath. Wrap it. Okay, now I like to pinch this because a lot of times it will, the tape will, let me fix that real quick. A lot of times the tape will pinch the skin underneath. Okay, now make a fist. Now you like to make an indent here. That keeps that from pulling on the skin, that tape from pulling on the skin. Same thing here. Sticky side down. Gonna rotate it underneath. Wrap this here. Pinch. Flip the hand over. Make that little indent. And then just cross the tape around. And we'll do the last one. Pinch. Make our indent. And come through. Then of course we're going to tape these ends over, tape the wrist again. Okay, so now here's where we're going to get part of our that X pattern. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to start with that X to start to secure the back of the hand. And again, you can do that as many times as you need to. And then I'm going to put a strip across the front and have you open your hand. Okay, so now make a fist. Okay, I'm going to run this one tight across. Okay, now I'm going to start to overlap that, have you open again. I usually do a couple and then I'll, before the thumb, and then I'll just have you keep your fist tight so I can go over top of the thumb. And I'm just, again, coming to the edge. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm ripping with my thumb. Okay? And a good roll of tape will rip nice. Okay, so you're not struggling with it and having to cut it. Okay, so just down the wrist. All right, so here we're gonna go with this. We're just gonna do a straightforward hand wrap. Not gonna get too crazy. So I'm gonna do, there's a few steps you can do. You can add extra tape. You can add extra protection if you're having trouble with your wrist or with a thumb. That kind of stuff, we can add extra wrapping there to help. But for now, I'll just show you this basic wrap. Okay, so strips are going down the top. And this is just gonna create that crisscross pattern, right, to provide some extra strength. So the bottom tape's going horizontal, and then this is gonna go vertical. And you just get good coverage across the top of the hand. Now I'll take the scissors. Okay, we'll rough down all these bumps. It just starts to secure this a little bit. Now this is almost done. Okay. I'm going to show you a way that I've been doing it lately that seems to work pretty well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to secure the thumb. So I'm going to have you open your hand nice and wide. I start on the top, if you can see this, and come underneath, around the thumb, and then have you make a fist. And then I'm going to secure the thumb down. Now that's going to pull the thumb out a little bit, right? So again, if you need it the other way, if you need to pull your thumb down, depends if you're having issues with your thumb, I can do it this way. I can start on the bottom and I can pull it down, make a fist, and come around. And again, that secures that thumb in there nice and tight, okay? And it's not too much tape. So this is how, you know, we travel quite a bit in different commissions, have different styles of wrapping that they prefer. So I've been doing this style with just the tape to make it a little bit simpler to fit into most rules. Okay, spread your hand out nice and wide. So I'm gonna I start on the bottom here. And we're just gonna come with a strip over top. And I'm just gonna wrap this and then I'll rip it off underneath. So make a full strip. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start down just and overlap it just a little bit more. So I wanna have enough to tuck that underneath. Nice and wide. And then I'm gonna finish it off up here. Okay, now I'm gonna have you make a fist. So now I'm gonna come again underneath, just so it allows me some tape to work with on the later on underneath. I'm gonna take these just one strip over and just overlap just a little bit. And then I'm gonna start to finish this. One more wrap. Okay, so this is gonna start to overlap, but I can cut this out and make it nice and clean underneath. So now I'm gonna start here, take a couple strips over top until I get towards the wrist. Then I'm gonna start coming around. Okay, so now you got this. Well, I didn't get quite enough down there, but that's all right. You can cut some of this open now, right? And I'll make a little cut here, a little cut here, and I can start to tuck this underneath. Okay, and that gives you a nice, secure wrap. And sometimes I'll finish this thumb up again just to get any of these loose ends of tape wrapped up. So now you can see it's all cleaned up, and then you've got a nice secure wrap, and the padding goes just over the knuckles, protect, and you've got those crisscross patterns on the back for extra security. I'm going to show you one more thing. In a tournament setting, a lot of times we're able to use some different kind of wrap. This is called Pro Flex wrap. This is nice, especially when we're doing tournament fighting and there's multiple fights per day. I like to leave the wraps on if at all possible. So this kind of helps hold everything together at the end, and you can do this in place of that last roll wrap of tape. So I'm going to start on the bottom, wrap over the top. So you spread your fingers out, So I'm gonna come underneath. And I'm just gonna cover over the where the edge of the tape is, so you're not crossing the knuckles, because again, you can't have more than finger's length of between the edge of the pad and the tape. So kind of underneath, almost out of this tape, but that's fine. Gonna come here, so I just pinch this edge to help wrap it around. And come onto that. Got another partial roll I'll use up here. And just wrap around. And again, usually use a full roll of that, but that works. Okay, so then again, underneath, all you got to do is make a little snip here, tuck that under, and then you can do the same here. And tuck that under. Sometimes if you need to clean up the edges, you can use the edge of the scissors like this. It works nice. Okay, so this style wrap, you've got this ProFlex on the outside, which allows it to stick together, and you can wear it, you know, most of the day long. It keeps you a solid wrap. So again, there's some verification from different things you can change, some little modifications you can make, but for all intents and purposes, this is our style of wrap.